Shalom Berger here for the Koren Talmud Bavli. Today we're going to be looking at a Gemara on Daf Memchet in Berakhot that deals with Birkat Hamazon generally and specifically with the source, with the makor for Birkat Hamazon. Here, in order to orient yourself, we're taking a look at the Koren Talmud Bavli on the Vilna side, which has Nikud and Pisuk. It has punctuation and vowelization. But we're going to start by looking at the English side, where the Gemara, we find two statements. One, a statement of Amoraim, of Rav Nachman, which we'll open with, and then later a statement of Tanaim as well. The Gemara says, Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman, discussing Birkat Hamazon, says, Moshe tikein li Yisrael Birkat Hazan b'sha'ah she'yarad la'aman. That the first bracha, Birkat Hamazon, the first blessing, Birkat Hazan, was established by Moshe when the man fell from the heavens, sustaining the Jewish people. Yoshua tikein la'hem Birkat ha'aretz kevan shenichnesu la'aretz. Once they entered Eretz Yisrael, Yehoshua established a bracha with regard to the land of Israel, al ha'aretz v'al hamazon, which is the second bracha that we say. Davidu Shlomo tiknu b'nei Yerushalayim. The third bracha, which we say, which is b'nei Yerushalayim, was established by the king, two kings, King David and King Solomon. David tikein al Yisrael amecha v'al Yerushalayim yirecha. David established the bracha about the city of Jerusalem. Ushlomo tikein al habayit hagadol v'hakadosh. Shlomo, who built the Beit HaMikdash, mentioned specifically the building of the temple. The fourth bracha that we say, the bracha of Hatov v'Hameitiv, b'Yavne tiknua keneged harugei Beitar. That was established in the city of Yavne in respect to the people who were killed in Beitar. The Amar Rav Matana, because Rav Matana says, Oto hayom shenitnu harugei Beitar likvura tiknu b'Yavne hatov ha'meitiv. That day that the people who were killed in Beitar were brought to burial, in Yavne the sages established the bracha of hatov ha'meitiv, hatov shelo hisrichu, v'hameitiv shenitnu likvura. Hatov, that is good, that their bodies did not disintegrate, did not they did not decompose. V'hameitiv, and God is good, that finally they were brought to kvura. Already an obvious question that you should ask yourselves is, what exactly does Hatov v'hameitiv have to do with Birkat Hamazon? That is a question that you might be interested in looking into here in the notes on the side, which brings a number of different approaches to that question. But I'm interested in going further down on the daf, where we find a braitot. We find different earlier opinions that Tanaim about Birkat Hamazon. There were a number of these, right? So, for example, we have Tanu Rabbanan Minayin LeBirkat Hamazon Min HaTorah, and they quote the pasuk that we all know, Shenamar V'achalta B'savato Ve'rachta. We can see there are a number of different versions of this. We're going to look at Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi's. Rabbi Omer, Eino Tzarech, we don't need the earlier explanation. He explains it as follows. V'achalta v'savata uve'rachta. Zo Birkat Hazan. The first bracha we derive from the pasuk that teaches us that you have to make a blessing after you eat. Aval Birkat Hazimun megadul Hashem iti nafka. The invitation to Birkat Hamazon, they learned that from a pasuk in Tehillim and not from the pasuk in Chumash. Al haaretz, right? The pasuk said, "V'achal v'tavata avrachta et Hashem elgecha al haaretz." Zo Birkat haaretz. Hatova zo bonei Yerushalayim. The third bracha Hatova teaches us the need to say a bracha on Bonei Yerushalayim. V'cheinu omer hahar hatov hazeh v'halvanon. That the expression hahar hatov, the idea of tov, refers to Yerushalayim. The fourth bracha, Hatova Meitiv B'Yavne Tiknua, that was established in Yavne as we saw above. Ein li ela la'acharav lefanav minayin. How do you know you need a bracha beforehand also? Talmud lomar asher natan lach, misha natan lach. That once God gives you something already, there is a need to make a bracha. Then the Gemara goes on, Rabbi Yitzchak Omer Eino Tzarech, and he gives a different explanation. But the one thing that all of these different Tanaim have in common is that they see the source of Birkat Hamazon as being that pasuk in the Torah that says Gachalta v'sabato verachta. In fact, certainly superficially, it appears that the single bracha that we make, that is a Torah obligation, is this bracha of Birkat Hamazon. So a question that one needs to ask is, if in fact these blessings are min ha-Torah, if they are from the Torah, if they are midoraita, how did Rav Nachman the Amora teach us that not only did Moshe establish some, I guess that's okay, but David Shlomo established brachot as well? That's a very, very important question, one that's dealt with by the Rishonim, and we see that question raised here in the notes as well, and it's something that certainly, it's quoted in the name of the Rashba. There are other Rishonim who say similar things too. The idea being that in many mitzvot, the basic concept is the oraita, but it is left to later chachamim, to Chazal, or perhaps in our case to David Shlomo, to establish the specifics with regard to these brachot. So here we have sources for Birkat Hamazon, certainly from the pasuk, the brachot themselves perhaps elsewhere, some of the Birkat Hamazon being midrabanan, established in Yavne with regard to the people of Beitar who were killed. What I'd like you to do when you review this material is, first of all, read again, both in the English if you need to, as well as in the original Vilna Shas, the Gemara itself, so that you'll be able to read it in class or with Chavruta. We've asked a number of questions. For example, the tension between the Braita, which says that the source is the Pasuk in Sefer Dvarim, but Rav Nachman the Amora says that they were written by W. Shlomo. How can you reconcile these statements? And something that we really didn't talk about, but that you might want to wonder, is that the Birkat Hamazon that we say, we're all familiar with, is actually different in many ways than the Birkat Hamazon that appears in the Gemara that you just saw. What do we say that doesn't appear in the Gemara? Can you suggest a reason why those things might not be mentioned? So, again, for homework, take a look first at the English. If you find that the English is helpful to you, then the Vilna Shas with the Nikud and Pisuk, and finally the questions that we raised together. This is Shalom Berger for the Koren Talmud Bavli.